Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host for the weekend. FF Shane B is where you can find me on Twitter, Shane Barrett. And today we're doing our FF Expo at home wrap-up show, and we are going to do an underdog draft. But we've got some new faces, and we got one old face with us, Mr. Evan Ritter. So I'm going to let these guys introduce themselves and kind of talk about where they can go, or where you can go to find them, and things like that. I am having some technical difficulties with Underdog, so I'm going to try and get that fixed and tweet out the link so people can join our fast draft and draft with us. So once we get that handled, we'll rock and roll. But Evan started off, then we'll go PD and JB.
All right, how's it going, everybody? Evan Ritter, like Shane said, you can find me at Twitter at ev_rit3. All my articles and work are over at goingfor2.com. I'll be doing an over/under article every week, and I will also be on the Fantasy Cheat Sheet live on YouTube every Friday throughout the NFL season as well. Yeah, so that's where you can find me, over at goingfor2.com. And yeah, I'm excited to draft.
Got to introduce us to your co-host too, Ev.
What's that?
You got to introduce us to your co-host too.
Co-host over here, yeah, Ava. She was there with me last night, helping me take notes. So she did get a formal introduction last night. But yeah, this is Ava, who actually will be doing our first father-daughter draft this year. So that's exciting.
Nice.
Yeah, man.
Nice. At PD Stitz on Twitter. You can find I do actually like video editing for Fantasy Alarm. So definitely check out the videos and content over at Fantasy Alarm, fantasyalarm.com, wageralarm.com, and you can now follow DFS Alarm on Twitter as well. They have a following specifically just for DFS. So definitely give all that a follow. Otherwise, you can follow me personally at PD Stitz. I'm just going to emphasize that and leave it at that. If you don't know the story, you should by now. But if you don't, go check out my page. It's there.
I'm going to save my intro because we got a special guest up here.
Special guest, Mr. Rumboy's Robbie himself.
There's the dude.
In time for the love of Sundays. Yo, what's good, guys?
What's up?
Live from Canton. What up, Robbie? How's it going over there?
You know, man, it is going. It has been crazy. It has been a fucking experience. Yup, it's been fucking awesome, and just seeing everybody, you know, meeting everybody. It's gosh, I don't even know what number beer I'm on now.
I bet, man. We're living vicariously through you guys, and obviously what Shane's putting through here and making us kind of have a little bit less FOMO here at home. But I was just saying to my friends this morning, like, I'm not gonna miss it next year. Obviously, Robbie, I'm having a baby in October, so to leave my 7-month pregnant wife at home by herself to go hang out with my fantasy football friends probably would have landed me in the doghouse if not on the street. So.
Bro, no, you made the right decision, bro. Hey, no, next year it's gonna be even more bonkers. Already just how this year went, I'm excited. Man, it's a lot of people here. It's a lot of people. Yep, it's only gonna get bigger. Yeah. Next year.
Cool part about it. Cool part about it, Robbie, is that you feel like we have this family, right, of fantasy football people that we've all talked to each other. We've all seen each other on screen. We've all been interacting. Some of us have each other's cell phone numbers. We text all the time, call each other, but now you're there live and seeing everybody's pictures like, hey, look at me and so. It's like you feel like you already know them, and now it's like just to a whole nother level.
Yeah, it's a whole nother level, bro. Freaking shout out to Jake from the Fantasy Headliners, ran in the helm, chopped it up. Fabs is here. Oh my gosh. Yeah, the Ball Blast Girls, Matt Akuda, he's here. Fuck, bro, it's just been crazy. It's been crazy. Trophy Smack is here in person. That's an intense person to party with. If you ever get the opportunity. Yeah, what's up? Sam is up in here. The swagger man. Swagger man.
Boys?
Swag man.
Swag.
Yo,
What up,
How you boys
baby?
doing?
What up, swag man?
What's going on?
you know, we're out here and we're making sure that, you know, we're representing the industry and representing the brand. And, you know, we wish you, honestly, we wish you guys were here. Like, we really do wish you guys were here. That's not even a joke. And it's just all love.
And we'll be there next year, brother. But you know what? If we were there,
Hands
we
down.
wouldn't be able to be here to put this on. So we're
Exactly.
here. We're here for all of us with FOMO to kind of give you like a little bit of feel of, you know, Canton at home, Fantasy Football Expo at home. So we have that. at least.
JB's
And there's a
beer is
couple
half
of us
full,
here.
by the way.
Hey,
Always half full, baby.
hey,
It's always half full.
Hey, speaking of half full, cheers to me. Cheers to you. All the rum boys and girls, what it do? Dilly dilly.
Dilly dilly.
We got Nate here, by the way.
What up?
What up, Nate?
What up, Nick?
You know,
What up, bro?
Short just stepped out here as well.
Jen?
Don't forget the
Yep,
better
dude.
half.
The better half, the smarter half.
There's 30 Short. You know, and it's just been a vibe. I want you fellas, you know, enjoy the day. Keep putting on a badass production. Keep killing it. And, you know, just know that all of us here love you guys.
My man.
Joe, you gonna hang with us for a little
Appreciate
bit?
that,
Or
man.
you rolling out?
I'm gonna jump out. I'm gonna jump out, and I'm gonna keep, you know, networking and mingling.
Word, good stuff.
As
Enjoy
you
yourself,
should.
brother.
Love you,
Alrighty,
dude.
hey, y'all keep killing it. Later, y'all.
All right, homie.
Take care, buddy.
No.
Let me ask you guys this: Can any of you guys log into Underdog on your computer? Since I apparently can't.
Oh, I am on my phone, so let me see.
I mean, since you just set yours up, you probably remember your password.
Oh
better
yeah,
than
I
I
know.
do.
Yeah, I make
I mean,
sure
I'm in the draft room right now, if that helps.
I have
your
all of
computer?
my I have all my passwords stored in like a little safe like app on my phone.
Yeah, I need one of those. I
Yeah.
have them on a note on my phone and then just save them to the Apple Bank or whatever usually. But apparently, I didn't do that with Underdog this time. So
All right, let's
great
see
job,
here.
Shane.
Yeah, it's a cool logo. My daughter's like, "Oh, I like that logo."
What do we need?
Alright,
5
and
more
then-
to start the draft?
Yep. Well, 4 more because Evan, you're not in the draft yet, right?
No, I'm
No,
not
he's
in.
not.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, on my computer, it's denying me because it can't verify my location.
Yeah, no worries. We'll
But
figure
on
it
my-
Are
out.
you in on your computer or are
Oh,
you in on
man.
your phone?
I was in on my tablet. I'm trying to see if I can get in on the computer here.
All right, well, then I guess while we figure that out, I'll do my intro. I'm JB Barry at Fantasy Coach JB on Twitter. I write for Razzball. You can find me on Monday nights with the Fantasy Besties live pod. Do the Fantasy Magnets podcast with Wes on the Fantasy Impact Today network. And I'll actually be writing. I got a new thing coming up. Be writing for another site that's still kind of not launched completely yet. So stay tuned for that news at Fantasy Coach JB on Twitter.
Fella.
But, you know, love this. Love being able to do this for everybody out there. I know a bunch of us are sitting here, you know, tweeting with each other and having FOMO that we're not there. So this is our way to be there while not being there.
Yeah.
We got some good names in here too. I know Donkey Teeth from Razzball's in here. I see a couple of people that I know. Coach Steve's in here. JTRB1 is Shane is in here.
I'm gonna have to relay some bad news.
Uh-oh.
What's that?
They do not offer Underdog in Delaware at the moment.
Oh,
That's why
So
they're
you
not
can't
letting. That's why they're
participate.
not letting me get in.
that sucks.
Yeah, so they let me sign in on Underdog. I went to just deposit, and it says depositing unavailable at the moment. We do not
Well,
offer.
that ain't
Yeah,
that ain't great.
nah, man. So
Yeah, Brick
Well, you can
Sanders
stick
just said the
around with
same
us if
thing.
you want, but if you want to jump, I understand. I am.
You could
currently-
commentate on the picks.
Yeah, if we can ever get the screen up.
right, let
I'm
me see
currently
if I can
tweeting out
remember
the
mine.
link and sharing it in different retweet groups. So if you guys want to come join us and draft, come on. We are drafting as soon as this fills. $5 fast draft, 30-second timer on Underdog. So,
Dude, that's so stupid. Like, I can do DraftKings, but I can't. What the hell?
It's weird, man. So, and I need to edit a couple things. So, Petey,
Yes,
you're a Buffalo Bills fan, correct?
that's correct, sir.
Talk to us about Josh Allen and his new that new bag that he got it, and what do you think about it?
I absolutely love it. I mean, I'm always hesitant to hang on. I'm sorry, but for whatever reason, like I am logged into Underdog. I just can't get it on my computer.
No
I think
worries.
I have to do something with my settings for my location or whatnot. But anyway, can you guys see me or no? There we go.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if like being on the different screen. Anyway. No, I absolutely, I love it. I mean, it's been so long since the Bills had that reliable guy. I mean, really since Jim Kelly.
Yeah.
Back and that was our last heyday in the '90s. And I know, every Bills fan, they always go back to that, and people are sick of hearing about the 4 consecutive Super Bowls and blah blah blah. But I mean, it was just like, I mean, imagine your team going there 4 times in a row. And walking away empty-handed all 4 times. I mean, like even by like year 3, you're like year 3. Okay, we got to get it this time. It's
now, right?
Right. It's the 3rd time. Like, come on, like those first 2 were, and then you lose again, and then somehow you still make it a 4th time, and you're like, this has got to be it. Like the the football gods cannot hate us this much. The football gods hate us this much. Like, so. And then ever since then, I mean, it was just a tailspin and a gradual, very gradual build to what we have now. And, it is a lucrative number. I mean, that's Pat Mahomes money. I mean, if you really take a step back and look at it, that's arguably, some would say that's even better than what Mahomes got. So, but hey, if the Bills can do it, it's kind of like, like when you're just responsible, and I'm using that word loosely, but you're like responsible with your money, for like 5 years. You don't go crazy on it, and then you just buy yourself something nice. Like that's what the Bills are doing. They're like, listen, we found this thing, we want to invest in it. We haven't done this, ever. Here we go. Let's just do it. And if clearly they're not going to make them an offer like that if they don't think that they can afford, 2, 3, 4 years down the line, and they're going to run into a lot of financial. I mean, they should have some kind of plan. So if that's the case, yeah, now protect your investment, and that's why I see big things increasing in both the running and passing games for Allen. So Singletary looked great in the first preseason opener. He had that touchdown wide open in the flat. For a receiving touchdown. But even on the ground, he looked great. He was getting 4 or 5 yards per carry, if not more. So if that offensive line can stay healthy, and that's a big if, because they never seem to be able to, but here's hoping. Everybody looks good so far. We invested in our depth in the draft. So, when those guys do go down, that's what we invested in, to be able to protect Allen and everything. I mean, it's like the Bills finally know what they're doing, in my opinion, on all sides of the ball. Now it's just, I don't want to talk it up too much and get my hopes up, and, we don't even get a wild card spot, cause that would be my luck, but knock on wood, that's not the case.
I feel like a lot of things would have to break wrong for you guys to not even get a wild card spot. I think
but you don't know Buffalo, man. You don't know Buffalo.
I don't, but I'm a
there
Cleveland
is like this
fan now. So
what do you mean? Wait, what do you mean now? You're a Cleveland fan now. Like, how long have you been?
Yeah, what does that mean?
Got drafted.
What does that mean? Because I mean, I've been dealing with this crap for 30 years. Like you're I'm a Cleveland fan now. I understand the last 6 months have been tough. 30 years.
No, I started you jumped ship when Baker got drafted.
Who were you before that?
So 4 years.
Yeah. Packers and Cowboys, which I still am.
Really? That's
Evan, you're a Cowboys guy, right?
oh, I'm a huge Cowboys fan, dude. Love my Cowboys ever since I
Well,
was. My son's
you
name is
can-
Emmett.
Oh, I
Nice.
love it.
Yeah.
Nice.
You can.
Well, Petey almost named
GFY.
his daughter Alan. No, but Petey, look, you got something to look forward to because I had plenty of years of suffering, and you got something
Right.
to look forward to. And not for
Right.
nothing, I think you guys made the right move at the right time. You have your window right now. New England is in that post Brady fog right now. You got the Jets in a beginning of a rebuild. You got the Dolphins kind of towards the end of a rebuild, but you still have some time there. So your division is yours. And then if you look at the AFC in as a whole, right? Obviously, you got to get through Mahomes. But one bad break, anything happens, and obviously we don't wish injury on them. But hey, maybe they underperform. Maybe their defense, just becomes the Cowboys last year. It just takes a break like that. You got Herbert up and coming with the Chargers, but your window is there to take the AFC. Just got to get through, one or two of those last level type of. You look at it like a fighting game, right? You got to get through the levels, and you guys are at one of those top levels already. You just got to break through, and you got the right window to do that.
I'm glad that you brought up Miami's situation right now, because honestly, one of my favorite things from the era of Kelly, Thurman Thomas, Bruce Smith, Andre Reed, all those guys, was the rivalry we had with Miami. The Kelly Marino rivalry and everything like that. And who knows, if Tua has another down year. I hope he doesn't, because I do have some shares of him in different leagues, and but if he ends up being their quarterback for the future as well, I mean, that could be a fun little rivalry to watch. Allen versus Tua for the next half a decade. So
yeah, no, I think the Tua Allen rivalry potential that's there is going to be fun. PD, I'm with you. I think people are sleeping on Tua this year. And he's going to be really, really good for people. So,
yeah, I'm starting to come around on Tua.
Yeah, you should be.
Yeah.
So we need 3 more to fill this draft, and then we will rock and roll.
Should be 2 more.
Should be 2 more, but unfortunately, the state of Delaware and Underdog don't like each other.
Slow,
don't like
slower.
Evan, so.
Freaking Delaware, always slow to the punch, man.
I guess they don't like money.
So,
hi,
JB,
I'm in Delaware.
Who's your favorite?
It's my
team?
favorite.
Who's my favorite team?
Yeah.
The Super Bowl champion Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Oh, nice.
Gross.
That's why I told Petey, look, you suffer for many years, but then you have something to look forward to. You get a nice little Titletown, cover of your newspaper there, and you got something to look forward to. I actually got my replica ring on the way. It's on order, so I should have that in the next couple weeks. But it's exciting to be a Bucs fan now after several years of not being very exciting.
Yeah.
I can only
But
imagine,
didn't you
man.
guys just win like in 2002? I mean, come on. Was it really that long when you're talking to a Bills fan here? Like, come on, man. You can't.
It felt like forever.
Or a Cowboys
any
fan.
candle you think that you're holding with this, I'm gonna snuff right out. Like, I just, it's been so many years. It was like 18 years. Like, come on, man.
It's been 26 years, man. I've been waiting for another
I have
one.
not seen one since I've been alive for the Cowboys.
I was 6, and I can barely remember. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Our Super Bowl. I told my fiance.
I remember
said,
losing that Super Bowl twice.
Yeah,
you know.
I know. I told my fiance, I said, look, when they go back, if they go back, you better believe I'm going to do everything. I don't care what it is. We will be there. I do not care.
Let me throw this out there. So, you guys know those GIFs that like they spin every possible Super Bowl matchup that there could be, and then you click on it and it's like, oh, what was your matchup and blah blah blah. I did one the other day, and it actually gave the odds for every single matchup. And a couple of weeks prior, just for fun, I did call a Bills Cowboys Super Bowl for this year. I was like part 3, like, why not? Let's go. I think, it's going to be one of those, crazy years. And then someone tweeted at me when they did that GIF thing, and it was Bills versus Cowboys. And the odds of that matchup were 1 in 1,954. So I'm like, you know what? I already called it. This person got it. Those are the odds. Like, I'm kind of thinking of going to the casino real quick and just dropping $5. I mean, yeah.
Why not, right?
Why not? Like, at those odds, you know?
Yeah. That would be crazy, man. And it's getting closer and closer. It could, if Cowboys ever get a defense, man, it could, it could be possible.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure the line has moved a little bit since, but still,
Yeah.
Hey, they've taken strides to try to get there. Cowboys are trying to get there.
Yeah, they are. I mean, they definitely, if their defense could just play, middle of the pack good, with how good our offense is, we'd have a good chance for sure.
Right.
But
We don't want them to play good, right? We want them to just be okay. We don't want them to play good because we have so many offensive weapons on the Cowboys on our fantasy teams that we need them to keep throwing the ball and scoring.
Yeah, exactly. No, but I mean, just like they just can't be bottom of the barrel. You know what I mean? If we want any chance of playoff aspirations.
Yep. See, the Bucs thought that we had that problem last year, and coming into the season, our secondary was being ranked as like the worst secondary in football. And those boys put a chip on their shoulder and came out with something to prove. And that was a big reason why we did what we did last year.
Carlton Davis.
And I love the fact that guys took pay cuts this year to keep that team together, man.
Yep.
That just shows you though that like how, tight knit that locker room is and how they're all on the same page. I love seeing I truly love seeing that, man. The guys are like, dude, I don't care. Yeah, I'll take millions of dollar pay cut because I want to stay in here and win another championship and go for another one. And I mean, that's the Brady effect, dude.
Exactly.
It's crazy, man.
They saw it. They felt it. They see the window that they have with Tom there.
Yeah.
I said, let's just keep the band together and go for two. Let's do it
Why
again.
not? Why not, man? Yeah, so I love seeing that. I definitely do. Cannot hate on that at all.
So, JB, I love Carlton Davis as an Auburn fan, so I'm happy that he got a ring and really has played well for you guys. Honestly, I think since the Tyreek Hill game, if I remember correctly. But that's just, I mean, that was just poor defensive scheming when they had one person trying to cover Tyreek Hill. Like, Tyreek Hill is so fast, you cannot do that. But JB, what I wanted to ask you is correct me if I'm wrong. Every single starter for the Bucs came back, correct?
Correct. Yep.
And
they even added to that. I mean, their draft was Joe Tryon's going to come in and be a rotational piece to that defense right off the bat. So I mean, they added Gio Bernard to be that pass catching back and pass protecting back. So and they get OJ Howard back from injury. So not only did we keep all the starters together, but we kind of brought some more to the table now too. It's exciting.
Yeah, absolutely.
What are your expectations for Howard this year, JB?
You know what? Honestly, I would. He's the guy that I've been drafting late in drafts because I think that as long as he's healthy and he can come back from that injury, I think that he can be fantasy relevant. A lot of people are over drafting Gronk, in my opinion. I think Gronk is going to be very touchdown dependent. I think he's obviously a red zone weapon. The relationship he has with Tom is just uncanny, so they know where each other's going to be or where they need to be. But they use him to block a lot. And he came to Tampa saying, hey, I'm here to protect my friend. Like, I'm happy. He enjoys blocking for Tom. So he's going to be in blocking a lot, especially with all those weapons on the outside. So if they do play a two tight end set and it's Howard on one side and Gronk on the other, I wouldn't be surprised to see Howard being the one who's running the route and catching the passes. In the red zone, it's going to be Gronk. He knows where to get. He knows, big third down play. Yeah, Gronk's probably going to run a route for Tom and get open for him. So they're both going to have their roles, but at the value you get in OJ Howard, why not? Get him at the scrap end of the draft. He's going undrafted in some drafts.
Yep. So do you think he's going to step back into the tight end 2 role this year, or do you think he's going to battle with Cameron Brate?
I mean, yeah, it'll be a battle, but they have their own roles. So I do think that he'll be more of the offensive weapon than Brate will be.
Cool. I mean, to me, Brate has always been a kind of a sneaky guy. He will randomly pop off in a couple weeks for 3 weeks in a row. So I like Brate, especially for best ball, which is what we're going to draft today. But yeah, so While we are getting filled, and I'm trying to get this filled, boys, I am putting in the work. We need one more to start.
Oh, we're almost there.
So we are almost there. I am firing this thing out to literally every league that I'm in. I send it out to all of Poly's playoff as well. While we're here and people are watching, if you guys are new to Underdog, make sure you use code collective to get a first deposit match. Hey, Jay Christensen joined us for today.
Sweet.
Nice.
And we are starting soon. So let's throw that up on screen. Typically, it takes 60 seconds. We've got, I don't know who's at the 1. Jay's at the 2. Jorge Martin, friend of the show, is at the 3. Steve Pintado's at the 4. PD, you got the 5. I'm at the 6. You're going to snipe me. I'm going to snipe you back on the turn, though. We got JTRB1 at number 7. And then M Songos at 8. Donkey Teeth at 9. Christian Botello at 10. Happy belated, Christian. We won't sing happy birthday to you again today. JB, you're at 11. And then Roto One is at 12. So that is our draft order. And this is best ball. So what I want to kind of do is, if anyone's new to best ball, never done best ball before, just kind of want to talk about potential strategies, kind of what we're thinking on each pick. And obviously we'll roll through the draft. So any questions as we get started? Because it's starting in 6 seconds. No? Cool. Rock and roll. PD, you're a rock star. I wish I looked as cool as you all the time. And that was I'm serious. Like I can't pull off that look that you've got going on right now. I love it.
I don't even know what it is I'm pulling off.
It's intimidating. That's why he brought it in to intimidate us in the draft. He's trying to get us to like, okay, you know what? I won't draft Josh Allen because Petey looks like the Terminator and he might kill me.
He might eat me. All right, so our first 3 picks off the board are running backs. No surprise there. Kamara at 3. This is a topic I think we talked about yesterday in our draft because it was 1 QB as well. What do you got? Who are you guys taking at 3? Because I feel like in 1 QB, best ball is usually 1 QB. You're going RB heavy. And damn, I do not like my options here.
I know Spence is sitting there behind you.
Yeah, and I know who he wants to take. I'm going to take someone who I haven't taken in a hot minute, which is Aaron Jones at the 6. But who are you guys taking at 3? Whoa.
I'm taking Zeke at 3. Zeke at 3. I knew I could make the argument for Kamara, but I'm taking Zeke personally at 3. I'm shocked that Spence just went Kelsey there and didn't go with his boy.
I am too. Maybe he's trying a different strategy on this one.
He left him sitting there for donkey teeth, and he snatched them up for sure.
Yeah, he did. So, Evan, as the non-participant, unfortunately, who are you taking at 3 in a 1 QB or a best ball draft?
It's between Zeke and Kamara for me.
Okay.
Yeah. And I really like Eckler in best ball too, though.
Yeah, Eckler I feel like is a good one too. Petey.
Yes. Because you know in best ball you gotta kind of be strategic. You know, you don't want to take all of the chalk picks. You know what I mean? You kind of want to get different. And hope you get those breakout breakout players, and then you want to kind of get those low owned stacks. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So
100%. PD, who are you taking at 3? Is it Zeke? Is it Kamara? Is it Barkley? Is it Henry?
It's definitely not Barkley.
Okay.
Just I don't the injury. It's something you have to keep in mind.
Ball.
I mean, not in best ball and not at 3. I mean, maybe still, late first round. I'd be okay with if you can get him early second. Hey, even better. Good for you. But no, at 3, I would say it's either Henry or Zeke. And honestly, I'm kind of leaning more Zeke now over Henry. I don't think we're going to see the same kind of production. I don't know why. Something's just call it a gut feeling, but I just don't think we're going to be seeing the same level of production out of Henry this year as we did the last couple. I think Darrington Evans is going to play a bigger role, and I have seen him crawling up draft boards as well. So something to keep in mind if you're a zero RB or out there. Which I'm sorry, I will never buy into the zero RB strategy. I think that's for the birds.
Amen, man. Amen.
I'm with you.
I've done zero RB in best ball once, and I did it in the Dynasty League another time. Best ball, I feel like, is a decent format to pull it off, but redraft or Dynasty, like, I'm not about it. Like, the team that I have, I love my wide receiver core for Dynasty for zero RB, but I hate my running backs, and it makes me cringe because I'm I like RBs quite a bit. So yeah, it really, really hurts me to go zero RB.
Yeah, I have this conversation all the time with Kevin Tompkins. He's, one of the fantasy besties with me. So, we talk, obviously we have a group chat going all day long, and then we talk about it on the show. But his theory behind why he's so adamant about it is because of the positional advantage you get at the other positions, that you can kind of make up some of that ground on running backs with, just pedestrian performances from your running back, but you have such an advantage at wide receiver, tight end, whatever, that, it makes up that difference. I can't get behind it. Just something that about me starting Jamal Williams, I can't click
so
to
my
put that in my lineup.
In that Dynasty League are Trey Sermon and Phillip Lindsay.
And how do you feel about that?
Yeah.
It is.
And how does that make you feel?
It's painful, but my wide receivers from a Dynasty perspective are ridiculous. It's DK Metcalf, Justin Jefferson, AJ Brown, DJ Moore, and Chase Claypool. So
That's nasty.
It's truly filthy, but if they have a bad week, my RBs aren't going to be worth a damn to bring me back up.
Yep. Yeah, and that's the tough part about it. That's why, it works, and Kev showed that it worked, and he looks forward to proving that again this year, but it doesn't work for me. It's just not my cup of tea.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. This is the Fantasy Football Expo at home, if you guys are tuning in. So use that hashtag if you're watching. Throw us any questions in the comments, whatever. We're just drafting and chatting today. So, all right. And Jay is on the clock.
Can I ask you guys your opinion about a player that just went, DeAndre Swift? How do you guys feel about him this year?
Evan, let's throw it to you first, and we'll go down the screen.
For me, I'm not a big Swift truther this year. I would rather take, a few other guys where around his ADP. And I also think that Jamal Williams is going to have a significant role in this offense. So where you can get Jamal Williams, I think he's just a hell of a value. And, they've already came out and said that they're going to ride the hot hand. How much truth is behind that? Who knows? But for me, I would just rather take Jamal Williams later in drafts than spend an early round pick on Swift.
Yeah, and I'm a little worried about Swift too, but if you look at the group of running backs he's going around here, I mean, you're getting him at the top of the third, right? You got him at the 3-1. So he's fallen to the third round now, when this is a guy who, before all of the coach speak and everything came out, we were talking about, back end of the first, early second even. So, get him in the third round. You might have to jump on that. You know what I mean? I'm a little bit worried about him and about, the role that Jamal will play. But I think that if he fell to me in the third round, I don't know that I could pass him up there just because of the talent that he has.
You like him more than Dobbins?
I do. I'm not a Dobbins fan only because of the offense he's in. I feel like, any type of running back that you have in an offense.
Thanks, JB. I just took
him. Well, when you have an offense like that, you're less likely for the quarterback to dump the ball down to the running back, right? If things break down, he's going to tell the running back to set a block for him to run, right? So that's kind of why I'm off of those type of running backs and that type of offense.
Monty is my guy in that range.
Me too.
Yeah, I like Monty a lot. Yeah. I'd still probably go Swift over Monty right now. I know, but I just think Swift is so talented that and they're devoid of talent on that team.
Yeah,
It's Swift and Hawk Williams he's to me just a guy. He's not talented enough to me that I'm worried about him actually stealing the starting role from Swift.
No, not taking the starting role by any means. No.
And I wouldn't say that's what you were thinking either, but like to me, I think he's going to be talented enough to hold off Williams more so than some people think. Sorry, Evan, if that feels like it's a shot at you. It's not
because he can catch the ball too. Yeah.
Yeah. So he can catch the ball, but we talked about it last night. I think Evan Williams is going to be a bit of a nuisance when it comes to the pass catching because he can catch the ball too. I mean, ask Aaron Jones owners. He steals some catches here and there. So that is something to be concerned about with Williams. But I still think that team is so devoid of talent, and Swift is so good that he should be decent this year.
Yeah, I can see that.
Here's one for you guys. Mike Evans and Chris Godwin going back-to-back at the 4-2 and the 4-3. I'm biased, so it's like asking me to choose which of my children I like best. So
Yeah.
I'm going to let you guys discuss this. Who would you pick first between Evans and Godwin, and why?
I'm going to go Godwin. And I feel like that's a slightly unpopular choice, and let me pick real quick because I am on the clock. I'm going to go T. Higgins. I feel like that's an unpopular choice because Evans has clearly shown some chemistry with Tom, but he's too touchdown dependent for me, and I think Godwin has shown us his ceiling as wide receiver 2 overall, and he was hurt a lot last year, so he missed I think 4 or 5 games at least. I expect him to hopefully come back healthy and rock and roll this year. Petey.
Okay, before we go to Petey, I love your argument, but when people say touchdown dependent and Mike Evans, I just need to say 7 straight yards of 1,000 yards receiving. But
totally, but he's had a game literally where he had 2 catches for 2 yards for 2 touchdowns. But he's had games similar to that without the touchdowns as well.
Right. Yep. Go ahead, Petey, and I'll weigh in at the end. Go ahead.
It really is a coin flip for me, but I mean, I guess by a slight margin, I'm leaning Evans. He's just the more consistent receiver in my opinion. I feel like he's when healthy, and that's the biggest drawback is he has had health issues, but like you said, JB, he went 7 years straight with 1,000 yards receiving. So I mean, when he's on the field, he's getting it done. And he's always, it seems to be harboring like a hamstring or something. He had that soft tissue injury a couple of seasons ago as well. That's just always something that's in the back of my mind if I have Mike Evans on one of my squads. But I'll lean Evans, but it's by a hair of a margin. So,
all right, what do you got, Ev?
Yeah, they're so close. I mean, to have that freaking problem on your team is, gosh, man. And then you got Antonio Brown as your wide receiver 3. I mean, yeah, pretty sick wide receiver squad. And I love Brown this year, especially in drafts. Let me just make that point. Where he's going, man, the meat left on that bone. Love it. But as far as the question, I think Godwin is poised to have a really good year this year. I think another
Petey,
year.
you're on the clock with 10 seconds. By the way.
Yeah, I know. Brady. I'm just you guys are gonna give me crap for this one. So.
No, I love
Homer pick. Homer pick.
No, that was great value.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, another year with Brady to build that chemistry, and I think he's gonna rack up some receptions. And while Mike Evans, if you look at his numbers, he's been Mr. Consistent. I don't think he's scoring as many touchdowns as he did last year. I think that's going to come down a little bit. So, like I said, I'm not mad if I get either one, but I'm thinking Godwin. Godwin's one of my players that I'm picking to have a nice bounce back year this year.
Yep, I completely agree.
And I do too, and I love
Evan,
Godwin.
You wanna collab on a going for 2 bounce back article?
Yeah, that'd be fun.
I think we agree on some bounce back candidates, so let's rock and roll with that.
Yeah, that'd be cool, dude.
Awesome.
Nice.
Definitely.
Nice. Love that. And I love the take too. I mean, obviously Godwin's my guy, but Right below him is a Mike Evans autograph football and a Mike Evans autograph helmet. So they're both my boys.
I was pointing your room out to my daughter, man. I was like, look, babe. I said, look, baby. That's what Daddy wants to do with his garage. I've been because we bought a house last year, me and my fiance, and I haven't got around to it yet. So I wasn't allowed to have any room in the house because that was for everything else. But she said you can have the garage. I said, all right, deal. Take the garage. So that's what I'm gonna be working on this winter, man, is getting my garage, my man cave set up in the garage. But yeah, that's a stick room you have there, dude.
Nah, I appreciate it, man.
Love it.
And I loved being able to add the newspapers to it. This was just that just gave it the extra push for me. I had some cool stuff. I mean, Will Golston's the man. That's a game used autograph jersey, and that's a game used autograph helmet over there.
Oh, yeah.
Really cool guy. I met him in an airport once randomly, and he was just the nicest guy in the world. And I just became a huge fan of him, just not only as a player, but as a person. And, we interact on Twitter. We talked a lot. And then one day he was like, yo, send me your address. And I get a freaking game used jersey and a game used helmet. Yeah,
wow.
He's the man. He's the man.
I meant to say too about Godwin and Brady. I'm only in the satellite tournament this year for Scott Fishbowl. Yeah, but I did take Brady and Godwin as one of my stacks. So that shows you I'm in on them, man. I'm in on them this year.
I like that.
Okay, in a redraft league. Go ahead.
I was gonna continue about the Bucks and Brady and whatnot, but then I got a question for you about one of your last two picks.
Yeah, so just quickly in a redraft league, I'm taking Godwin because I do think he has more PPR potential. Yeah. I think his versatility, being able to play outside and play in the slot, is going to make him able to produce more for us. I think we're going to see him in the slot a lot this year, which obviously we know Tom Brady loves his slot receivers. If you put AB on one side and Evans on the other, you let Godwin run free in the slot, it's going to equate to huge production for him. In a best ball like this, that's where I'll take Mike Evans, because Shane talked about his, 2-catch type of games where those 2 catches could be touchdowns, or they could be 2 catches for, 12 yards.
Yeah.
So in a best ball league, I'll take Mike Evans there, and I'll make sure that I'm surrounding him with other wide receivers that I'm comfortable with. If I'm taking a Robert Woods, I know I'm getting production out of Robert Woods, and then I'll grab some other guys later that'll, be a little bit more stable in case Evans has more of those bust type of games. So that's where I stand on those two.
Yeah, and I like that. I like to build with kind of guys that I know are going to get floor production kind of earlier on. And then at the end of the drafts, especially in best ball, I'm just taking dart throws on guys that I think can bust 60, 70-yard touchdowns once a game or once a week or something like that. Because if someone has a bad week and they do that in the same week, you're rocking and rolling. So, JB, I'm throwing your name up there at the 5'11", I believe.
Mike Davis.
5'11". You took Mike Davis. I personally think he is a hot topic player. So we're gonna start with you, then we're gonna go Evan, then we're gonna go Petey, and we'll go me. Why Mike Davis? There.
Because volume is king, and as my RB3 at the end of the 5th round, going around guys like Sermon, Etienne, Jacobs, Javonte Williams. He's the guy who's getting the volume. We know he has the role. The guys behind him don't scare me like some of those other players I just named who are in timeshares, who are in competition. So if I'm getting a guy as my RB3 that I know is locked in as the starting running back, who we saw be able to produce with that role last year, why not? I mean, it's not like he's just a guy who's going to be a 2-down, 3-yard plotter. He showed he can catch passes out of the backfield too. So a lot of the argument that I hear from people when I speak about Mike Davis is, well, their team's going to be playing from behind a lot, so they're not going to run a lot. Okay, but they're not going to completely abandon the run. And that also leads to checkdowns. They don't have a lot of offensive weapons on the outside. You got Calvin Ridley. They just added Kyle Pitts. And then what? I'm not afraid of Zacchaeus or something taken away. So even if he's the third option in the passing game, he's going to get plenty of checkdowns there. So volume is king, and I'll take him there at 5'11" all day long.
Evan, what are your thoughts on Mike Davis?
So I think a lot of people are down on Davis, but where he's going, especially when draft out JB has, and that's your three, and that amount of volume as your running back three. I mean, I love getting him in spots like that, and he's definitely one of those running backs to target if you do end up going receiver early. Like I have in a couple of drafts where I go with the Tyreek Hill and run it back with like a Tyreek Hill and a CD Lamb or whatever the case is, and I go receiver. I like to target. Mike Davis is like on the top of my list as running back to target. But I mean, if you can get him at your RB3, I would lock him in all day because I don't see who else is going to get touches in that offense. Now speaking to his downside, we saw him slow up later in the year last year. So from start to finish, can he
That was a homer pick.
produce at a high level for all with even an extra game with all 17 games? That's yet to be seen. But I think as your RB3, you're not taking much of a risk there. So why not? Because like I said, and like JB said, the volume is key, and he's going to get all the touches there. So as an RB3 all day.
Okay, that's fair. PD.
Yes.
Mike Davis. I think you shook your head when I started to ask this question. So I'm intrigued to see your response to this.
Okay. My response to this, and first of all, I was so distracted by what JB was saying about him that I actually missed my pick, and that's why I took Dak Prescott last round. If anyone's wondering. But no, I really have to agree with everything JB was saying. I mean, volume is king, and really behind him on the depth chart is Dante Foreman they just signed, and behind him is Cordero Patterson. I mean, come on. Volume is king. He's going to get the touches. They're not bringing anyone else in. If we see some other big name come in, then okay, yeah, panic on Mike Davis and all the shares that you may have taken of him this year. But otherwise, I see no reason to panic. It's kind of like, hey, I don't exactly like what's on the menu, but I got to eat.
Yeah.
And it'll keep me alive, So that's kind of where I am. It's not a clock. Yep. Oh,
I didn't know I could do this. Look.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so much cooler. This is the first time doing Underdog on my computer. So
hey, there we go.
Look at that.
Yeah, that looks much better.
I didn't know I couldn't do that.
So, like JB was saying, if you can get Mike Davis, a guy he's going to be handed volume. I mean, they brought in Kyle Pitts. Really, that was it for Matt Ryan's offensive weapons. Calvin Ridley, we know what he's all about. And Russell Gage is behind him. And they're going to keep him in the slot. I mean, he's not just going to automatically assume what Calvin Ridley's role was next to Julio Jones from previous seasons. Just because Julio Jones isn't there now, that's why they got Kyle Pitts, a guy who's similarly sized as Julio Jones. He's going to be that big red zone target for Matt Ryan, ideally. And they still have Hayden Hurst there to be able to block and all that. So, I mean, we always worry about the rookie tight ends and their production, but I really do think that Pitts is going to be an exception to that rule.
Yeah, what I'll say is I personally don't like Mike Davis. I think the volume will be there, but I think his efficiency is going to be much, much worse than what people are expecting. And while Russell Gage isn't going to step into the Calvin Ridley role per se, we have actually seen him without Julio there because Julio was hurt last year perform. Now it's not world beater numbers, but it was still really good to where I think if he gets that volume on a consistent level, he's going to be more of a threat to Mike Davis's targets than I think people are thinking. Mike Davis had 1 year of production in an offense designed to focus on the running back, which was the Panthers last year with CMC's role that he assumed. So I don't think the Falcons' offense is necessarily going to be as focused on the running back per se. And I know that like the coordinator, or the coach is coming from Tennessee, and he was the offensive coordinator there. What I don't see is that Davis is anywhere near the stratosphere of Derrick Henry, which is who the coach had previously. So that's just my thoughts. I'm not drafting him, but you guys have all made solid points on why you should draft him. So if you want to listen to 3 guys versus 1, I would probably do that, because that probably just means the one is crazy. And yeah, I'm admittedly a bit crazy.
I mean, did you guys see that video of the at the Rams game? I think it must have been last night, and the one guy was taking on like 4 guys in the stands, and they were all Rams fans. I don't know what they were arguing about, but he just like I don't know. I put it up on my Twitter there. Check it out. It's kind of a funny video.
Yeah, I saw that.
So yeah, I mean, if you want to see one guy go up against 3 guys, yeah, it's
Absolutely. So my last pick was Michael Thomas, and I feel like in a best ball league, as wide receiver 5, that's a pretty solid pick. I'm tooting my own horn a little bit there, but it's just because the upside that he's got, if he does come back, is worth the risk at where I took him. What do you guys think about that?
You guys go. I'm up.
Petey, we'll start with you.
I stay away from situations like that. But then again, I don't play a whole lot of best ball either. So in this case, I mean, yeah, this late in the draft, in a best ball, it's the dart throwiest of dart throws. So, and you know that going in, you know what you're getting if you're going to draft Michael Thomas this year, because we've seen this story before, where we're just not sure if and when a guy is going to play. You know, the tale's been told. This is nothing. This is not a new situation for a player, and then the fantasy relevance with it. So go for it. You know, if you're going to get, if you want a late round value or something, you just feel like, you know what you're going to get. So it's either going to be, he's going to explode for you and be great, or he's going to be on your bench all season. So
yeah, which is why I think best ball is the perfect place to draft him.
There you go.
JB, you are not on the clock anymore. So what are your thoughts on Michael Thomas this year, and where are you comfortable drafting him? Best ball.
I'm not touching him. I don't think I would draft him no matter what, because I don't know by the time he comes back where his head is going to be. I think that the Saints are going to really struggle this year. I think they could actually finish last in the division. I think they're going to have a lot of struggles. And I think that by the time he gets back, he's already expressing frustration with the organization, right? You saw his tweet last week that everyone was talking about what font he chose to use, but he's already a bit of a baby. He's a bit of a crybaby and a whiner and a complainer. So now he has this injury that if he comes back end of October, that's what they're kind of targeting, but I don't think we see him till at least November. And if at that point they're a 3-win team, how much is he really going to give? If he's already not happy with the organization, you think he's going to give his full effort to hurry up and rehab back to help them go nowhere? I don't know that we're going to get much out of him this year. And plus he's got to face his daddy, Carlton Davis, twice a year. So I'm not drafting him anywhere, because I'm not expecting much at all from him.
I love that so much. Evan, are you?
Yeah.
So far, we're 0 for 2 on Michael Thomas drafters this year. Are you drafting him in any format? And if yes, where are you comfortable doing so?
So in this format in best ball, I'd probably stay away from him, just because we already know we're not going to get him for almost half of the year. So yeah. I just don't think he will. While he could come back and give enough production with Breeze gone and the woes at quarterback, in best ball I would just rather spend a pick somewhere else, unless I can get him super late. But in redraft, I really try to stay away from. I'm just trying to stay away from altogether.
Yeah.
But if he is going to fall, I mean, at the end of the day, he is Michael Thomas. So where did he go in here? I mean, yeah, where do you went in the 9th here? So,
Yeah.
Not terrible. I mean, especially looking at who he's going around, Jalen Waddle. You know, I may take a shot on him there. So I think if he falls that late, then I'm taking my shot and redraft on him for sure. And it always depends. You know, you gotta it always depends on how your draft's going at that point too. You know, if you're loaded at receiver, you know, why not take a shot on Michael Thomas in the 9th round, because he's only going to make your team that much better if he does come back and produces at, you know, the level Michael Thomas can produce at. So I'm not saying I'm going into drafts like no way, no how am I drafting Michael Thomas, but he's not a guy that I'm looking to draft either. It's just, it would all depend on how my draft falls, and it would be around probably the 9th round this year, maybe a little earlier, 8th or 9th round, that I'd be willing to take him, just because I'm only getting half of a season of production from him with Taysom Hill or Jameis Winston, and that's still yet to be, you know, known. So
Sean Payton, please make a decision.
right.
Yeah, so I agree with everything you guys said. I think the only reason that I took him was because he was my wide receiver 5 in the 9th round.
Yeah,
I'm comfortable taking him there because I don't have to rely on his production. I can live with him being out for half the year, and then if he does come back and he is balling out because he's Michael Thomas, then I've gotten a steal in the draft that might win me the league. It just that's the only frame of mind that I would maybe consider drafting him in, which is what you said, Evan, and like. Yeah, so that was my thought process.
and that's a viable
really
strategy, because, like you said, if you start off without him, you know, doing work, and then next thing you know, here comes Michael Thomas, you know, lighting it up, then that could be the key to you winning, you know, the best ball tournament. So definitely, you know, when he falls that late and you're already have secured that position, like I was saying, yeah, that's when I would be comfortable taking him.
Yep, totally agree. JB, did you really just take Evan Ingram?
Absolutely. I was going to ask you the same question. Did you really take Robert Tonyan?
Well, yes, because if you look at the rest of my team, I've got Aaron Rodgers and Aaron Jones, so I've got a little bit of a stack there, which is what you want in best ball.
Sorry, before you finished, I was wondering why you took Aaron Rodgers after taking Higgins and Boyd. I'm thinking, all right, he's going to go with the Burrow stack there, so you just answered that.
Yeah, no, that was why I did that. And I'm on the clock, so let me pick real quick.
You got 10 seconds, yeah.
Yep. No, I knew who I wanted to take, so it was cool. So there I followed it up with Troutman, who's someone who I think has potential top 12 upside. But Tonyan just has the trust of Aaron Rodgers for me in the end zone. And that's huge for me. And I know a lot of people focus, I think, on his 3 touchdown game that he had. He was still a trusted target of Rodgers in the end zone. And you saw that how Rodgers would script plays to try and find him in the end zone. And it was really only, I think, for about half a year, maybe a little more, when Tonyan really came onto the scene. So I think Tonyan is in line for a big year with Rodgers back. So
I think I'll argue the exact opposite.
Okay,
I couldn't be further off of Robert Tonyan. I was already off him before they brought back Cobb. I think that if you and this is known, right? If you take out that 3 touchdown game that you're talking about, where 4 starting safeties from the Falcons did not play that game. The first 2 didn't start, and then the next 2 got hurt. So he scored a bunch of touchdowns against practice squad guys, basically.
Yeah.
You take that out, he goes from tight end 4 to tight end 14 on the season, right?
Okay. Yeah.
He was 52 of 57 or 52 of 59, something like that. There's like incredible efficiency, and I don't think he continues that catch efficiency. And now again, his role was because there was nobody else for Rodgers to throw the ball to. He handpicked and made them bring Randall Cobb in to take away most of those routes that Robert Tonyan had to run last year. So I think that, you know, from those 59 targets, that's going to drop significantly. Add to that he's not going to be as consistent catching those passes. And I think he's as big of a dart throw as a guy you're going to get 6 rounds later at tight end.
Okay. And that is why I took Adam Troutman 2 rounds later, because I feel like
which is perfect.
Yep. I've shored up, and I feel like that stacks well too with the Michael Thomas pick. So like I'm going to get production from that position no matter what, potentially. So now Evan Ingram, Are you still in on Evan Ingram, JB? Clearly, but how in are you on him?
I'm very in. I mean, I'll take him at that point. I mean, look at the guys he's going around. That whole group of, everything from Logan Thomas down. I love Logan Thomas, and I'll take Logan Thomas over Ingram. But Higbee, Tunyon, Goddard, Irv, Troutman, that whole group right there, Gesicki included. Like, I want Ingram out of that group because I do still believe that he's a guy who has a significant role in the offense. I'm a Daniel Jones truther this year, and I don't know how that happened, but I wrote an article about him on Razzball, and ever since then, as I'm putting the stats together and I'm looking at it, the offensive line is not as bad as people think that they are. They played terrible last year, but I think that they did take a step forward towards the second half of the year. They brought in not one, but two coaches that specify in offensive line to focus on that. So they want to protect Daniel Jones, and Evan Ingram's his guy. I mean, they brought in Galladay that'll take some pressure off of him, that'll take some attention away from him. Obviously, you got Saquon back healthy now, so that's going to take some attention off of him. So I think, he's going to be very productive this year, and he's a guy that, where'd I get him, in the 13th round? Like, I'm all over that.
Yeah. And is he your only tight end in your roster?
So far, yes.
Okay. Interesting. Evan, you're a Cowboys fan.
Yeah.
How do you feel about Evan Ingram this year?
So I've always liked Evan Ingram, the player. It's just he's besides what I mean, you just haven't heard much from him since it seems like his rookie year, man, and he just can't get it going. But he's and he's so athletic. It's sad to see. But
he's not. I have Hawk. Sorry, I have Hawk.
Oh
Okay.
yeah, there you go.
Okay, then you're set.
Yeah,
I like
he's good.
that, actually.
Yeah. But to JB's point, I'm kind of coming around on Daniel Jones this year just because you can get him so late, and he does give you some, a little upside with his legs too, as long as he doesn't trip over himself. But as to Evan Ingram, he's not a guy that I have on any. Honestly, I don't have him on a single team this year. I just stay away from him because I haven't seen the production. But I do like Daniel Jones this year. So maybe, if I'm liking Jones, maybe I need to come around on Ingram a little bit. But for me, I've stayed away from him so far.
Yeah, I love that. Petey, what about you?
On Evan Ingram or Daniel Jones, or just the Giants in general?
Both. Evan Ingram and Daniel Jones.
Okay. I want Evan Ingram to be a thing every single year. I drafted him his rookie season very late. I forget which round I got him in, but I'm up. Sorry, hold on.
Sorry.
Love the Jared Cook pick, Shane.
Thank you.
Now I like your tight end room.
I think I'm just gonna hammer tight end just for you, JB. I'm gonna run 14 personnel because I did used to work.
That's a good late best ball pick. Jared Cook's a good best ball pick because I mean he could score, a good amount of touchdowns in that offense.
Yeah. Well, they don't have. I mean, they have some young options at tight end now, but
yeah, they have the XFL guy Parham,
and then they drafted
Jacob Harris.
Yeah,
Harris.
Jacob Harris, I like.
Love Jacob Harris.
Jacob Harris, I like actually.
I feel like they drafted another tight end too, but I can't remember for sure.
I forgot that actually, JB, that they have Jacob Harris. I do like him.
Love him there. I drafted him in my dynasty league, and I'm grabbing shares of him late in best balls too.
Man, I punted tight end in my dynasty league. Man, I'm regretting that bad. And then as I was like, okay, well I'll wait and just get some younger guys. And then as it came around, I was like, oh, I can wait one more round. And then next thing you know, a tight end run went, and all the younger guys started coming off. And I said, God, man, dude, I'm kicking myself, man. I think my tight ends right now, it's terrible. Gerald Everett, OJ Howard, and damn, I can't remember his third.
Yeah, I was gonna go Tevin Coleman last round, but I panicked because I saw that I was on the clock with like 20 seconds left, so I just grabbed someone at the top. I can't set a queue because we're using my computer. So if I use set a queue, somebody's gonna purposely snipe me. I know Donkey Teeth and Roto One and Spence is gonna be in here sniping me on purpose. So I thought my guy would get back to me, and I didn't get him.
Speaking of Jets, it's Chris Herndon. Those are my 3 tight ends. Terrible.
Oh God.
Oof.
Yeah, it's bad.
Everett will be good, I think.
And I just
yeah.
I just went to go get G. Scott Jr. That was like I was waiting for him to come back to me. That was going to be my pick, and he went right before my pick. So, yeah, I'm getting sniped all across the board. But it's my fault because I just waited way too long.
Yeah. All right, Petey, you're up.
But I have the CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott stack.
You
Nice.
son of a bitch.
Nice.
And I have Najee Harris.
Hold up. Is it? And this is Dynasty?
Yeah.
Woof.
Yeah, man.
So
Not
Petey,
bad,
I
my
feel like
friend.
did that to me on purpose and took Cole Kmet 1 pick before I was going to take him. But then I tried to get back at JB and I took Gio Bernard because I think he's James White 2.0 for Tampa Bay. So, Petey, why did you snipe me? Why are you taking Cole Kmet there?
Well, I have let's see, Tyler Higbee and Jonnu Smith as well.
Love Jonnu.
I know he had that big play in the preseason. Was it yesterday or 2 days ago? What day is it? What year are we in? What happens when you have kids?
Yeah.
But whatever day that was, he had some good grabs in the preseason. Obviously, he didn't play that much because doesn't really need to. But no, as far as Cole Kmet, I think he's going to come on big this year. I think the whole Bears offense, I think we're just going to see something special in that this year, and they're definitely going to. I think they'll make a second place claim at the division. I don't know if they'll be the top dogs. I'm not going to go that far with this take, but I do believe that the Bears are going to come on strong offensively this year, and they're going to make Kmet a big piece of that offense. So,
So Shane, you sniped me on James White 2.0, so I guess I'll go James White 1.0.
1.0? Love it.
I don't know if any of you guys are watching the preseason game, but man, Terrace Marshall looks freaking good.
Yeah.
Damn, he looks
what's
good,
his
man.
stat line right now? Do you know?
I don't know, but I've been paying attention to this, but every time I look up, I've seen a couple good snags from Terrace Marshall, and PJ Walker is in at QB. So
Interesting.
and PJ Walker, man, he's got a little. Oh, look, there goes Hubbard. See ya. Oh no, that's not even Hubbard. Oh, it is Hubbard. It is Hubbard.
Okay.
Broke off a huge run, dude.
That doesn't surprise me. Chuba Hubbard is legitimately a world-class track athlete. So his speed is bar none.
Yeah, that was sick.
CB in the comments says PJ Walker looking nice.
He is, man. That's what I mean.
I love CB's picture. That's my background on my computer screen right there. That deuce. Love it.
Yeah, there. Oh my gosh, there's not a bigger taunt that you just beat him in the Super Bowl.
But there's a backstory to that.
There
you
is
know
a
the backstory
backstory
to that?
Yeah.
No.
When
JB,
we
tell
played
the
them
backstory.
earlier in the season,
Is that
Tyreek went off.
Is that who
and
Hill
his-
did that to?
Yes, on the last touchdown, he
Okay.
threw the deuces at Winfield.
Gotcha.
So to wrap up the Super Bowl, Winfield said, "Nah, bro,
Yeah.
deuce to you."
Yeah, got the last laugh. Yeah.
Yep.
Damn. So,
Man,
yeah, man.
Bucks fans made T-shirts out of that, made banners out of that. I love it.
I'll have to hit you up week 1, man. We play you guys.
Oh yeah, we do on Thursday night to open it up.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
Okay, guys, I'm on the clock, and I'm actually gonna let you. Oh, never mind. I was gonna let you guys make this pick for me, because I didn't know who to choose from. But I'm gonna take Ben Roethlisberger. So I've got a second QB who can have blow up games, to pair with Rodgers. But I was between Rodgers and Wilson, and Spence sniped me on Wilson. So let's throw that to you guys from a best ball perspective. And Evan, we'll start with you.
Yeah, I'll jump on that because Zach Wilson is in best ball is one of my late round stacks. I love to pair him with a Corey Davis or an Elijah Moore. I love that stack late in best ball because look how late you can get Zach Wilson, and he's the clear starter. He's going to have that job all year. So if he can and he looked good in preseason. If he can, take a jump quickly in the NFL, as late as you can get him, and I think him and the Elijah Moore combo or the Corey Davis, as far as a late best ball stack, I love it, man. I really do. That's another one I have in the Scott Fishbowl is Zach
Nice.
Wilson
Very nice.
and Elijah Moore.
Nice.
So yeah, I'm all for it.
Awesome. JB, if your best ball perspective, are you taking someone like Zach Wilson who's got unlimited potential, or are you taking a shot on Ben Roethlisberger who we know can blow up but is getting up there in age?
Yeah, I mean, I think if I'm looking at it as a QB2 that I'm expecting to slide in some weeks, I would probably have to go Ben here only because of the expected volume that I see coming from him. I do worry that he can't stay healthy. So I don't know that I would trust him as a guy who I expect every week to start. But if I got an Aaron Rodgers on my team who I'm expecting to be my lead guy most weeks, I'm going to take a guy like Ben who has all those weapons around him that I think will have to have some big games. So I think Wilson is a safer floor type of bet, but I think that Ben is the bigger ceiling type of bet.
Interesting. Very interesting. And that makes me feel pretty comfortable with my pick. But also why I was asking the question, because I think both have different kinds of upside. Because I think we could see someone like, and Petey, you're on the clock. We could see someone like Zach Wilson come on later in the season as he gets more comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
But just like you said, Ben Roethlisberger's volume we know is going to be there if he's healthy and on the field. God damn it, Petey! You make my pick easier because that's who I was considering. But
Well,
That's
that's what I'm here to do. I'm here to make your life easier.
okay.
He left you Dan Arnold, bro. You're okay.
You're up. Talk to us about Ben Roethlisberger and Zach Wilson, and I'm going to take Donovan Peoples-Jones and walk happily to the bank because I love CPJ.
I do too, and I was actually looking at him as well, but I went with Ebron just because, he's going to be out there and he's a favored target for Big Ben, which then segues into my answer. I would take Big Ben over Zach Wilson. We don't know what Zach Wilson's going to be. Everybody can look good in preseason and then crap the bed during regular season. I think that they're making a similar mistake with him as they did with Sam Darnold. And I think it's just going to be the same story told all over again. We're going to get 4 years. We're going to get 4 bad to, at best, mediocre years of Zach Wilson. And it's just going to be, who's coming out in, 2025 or whatever year it'll be that they have to draft, they draft another quarterback to replace him.
At 2 overall again.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I just, Dynasty, okay, fine. If you can, you want to get him in Dynasty and just stash him because you have hope that their offense is going to put something together and, be able to compete in the AFC East again, go for it. But I'll pass. And especially in a best ball or redraft league, I'll take Big Ben as my QB2 or even QB3. In best ball or something over Zach Wilson, just because you know what you can expect from Ben. I mean, yes, he's he can have a bad floor as well, but I'll take Big Ben over Zach.
And I'll take Daniel Jones over both of them. And I can't believe he made it back to me there. When I took Austin Hooper, I was like, damn it, I should have went Jones there. And then I see 1 quarterback, 2 quarterback, 3, 4, 5 quarterbacks go, and he made it back to me. I couldn't be happier in the 17th round.
To piss you off because you were talking about him earlier. And welcome back, Evan. But I really wanted someone who I think has a bigger boom opportunity, and for me, that's Big Ben. So now I'm on the clock. And
I'm on record saying Daniel Jones will be a top 12 fantasy quarterback this year, making him a QB1.
Amari Rodgers.
Nice.
Yeah, I could see him having a really good year too, honestly.
Who's that?
Daniel Jones.
Oh yeah.
At least from a fantasy perspective. I don't know if that'll mean anything for a real football standpoint, but fantasy perspective, I could see him making a decent leap.
They need to give that man an offensive line, man. Protect the poor kid, dude.
Well, so Evan, I'm glad you brought that up because I don't know if you heard what PD was talking about with Wilson. The one thing that I'll combat you with, PD, on Wilson is that the Jets have actually seemed to build this team around Wilson a little
Yeah.
bit better than they maybe did with Darnold. They drafted Elijah Vera Tucker. They got Elijah Moore. They brought in Corey Davis and Keelan Cole.
Mekhi Becton.
Mekhi Becton from last year.
Yeah.
They drafted Michael Carter. They've got Ty Johnson and LaMichael Pirine, so that'll probably be a frustrating backfield to navigate. But I think they've built this team and given him some more weapons to where hopefully it doesn't fail as bad as it did with Darnold. That's my thoughts on it. So, JB, there is a
and that's why I'm only targeting him in best ball, because I'm hoping as I get him late, I already have a secured starter, one or two secured QBs that I don't need to obviously count on him. But if he ends up does taking this step forward, he's going to be a low owned. Not many people are going to have that stack, and that's what I'm going for there. So yeah, I'm only targeting him in best ball.
Yeah. Hey, JB, there is a draft summary somewhere on Underdog where you can see the total projections for the year for teams.
I actually have that up right now.
Yeah, I'm looking at it too.
I'm looking at it.
No, I don't think that was it.
No, that's not it.
But I want to pull that up if we can get it. Click on that again real quick. And then scroll. Okay, well, we'll just pull you down unless you can find it real quick. But yeah, so I'm looking at it on my phone right now, and I'll just read off the four of us for our projections. So Fantasy Coach JB, you actually have the highest at 3,060.5 for the year. PD, you are at 2920.7, which might be third highest. Yeah, third highest. And then Evan, you're not on here. Sorry, forgot. But then I'm actually second lowest, I think, at 2746.3. So,
I'm a DMP, coach's decision.
Yeah, unfortunately.
So why don't you read it out, and I know a lot of the people that were in this are listening, and what we could do after is we can kind of look at what some of those builds are and talk about how the teams were built. But how do you see Underdog ranking it?
Yeah, so right now you were first. Botello 15 is second. This is really hard to read.
It's pretty cool they do that, though.
Yeah, PD is third. Now it gets real hairy. And then I think Jorge is fourth. Donkey Teeth is fifth. Spence is sixth. Looks like Roto One is seventh. God, this is really terrible to read. Jay is eighth. M. Songos is ninth. Oh, I totally skipped Coach Steve. Coach Steve, I think, is actually fourth or fifth. And then I am 11th, and K Papa is 12th. So we'll see how we actually match up to those projections throughout this year.
They definitely got the first one right.
Shut your mouth. And now I'll put us back in the correct
Go
order.
down there.
Quick shout out to Underdog. If you are new to Underdog, make sure that you use code collective KOLLECTIV when you sign up for a percentage. I think it might be 100% match on your first deposit. And if you want to do any leagues, let me know because we can host those as well. And this was a ton of fun. So I will wrap it up here and let you guys plug yourselves, and then we'll rock and roll. So first and foremost, our DNP, Mr. Evan Ritter, who you can find on Twitter at ev_rit3. Evan, where can people find your content?
Yeah, once again, I am at goingfor2.com. You can find all my content there. I do mostly DFS, season long, and gambling. You can. Oh, buddy, so sorry. If you came on. Yeah, so goingfor2.com is where you can find all my content throughout the NFL season.
Love it. Fantasy Coach JB is where you can find him on Twitter. He is JB Berry. He's a Bucks fan. JB, where can people find your stuff?
Yeah, you can find my written work over at Rasball. I'm putting out an article every week, doing some off-season content now. I'll be doing some DFS stuff during the season, some wrap-up stuff as well. Probably be doing like a Thursday Night Football wrap-up article dropping on Fridays. You can find me on Monday nights with Kevin Tompkins, Lindellians, Andrew Cooper, and Jordan Loop on the Fantasy Besties show. We go live Monday nights around. We always say around 7:20 because it's whenever we can all kind of like get ourselves together and get the show going. You know, most of us are just like rushing back from work or scarfing down dinner and then like running downstairs. So you can find me there Monday nights, and then got some other stuff in the works coming up. So hopefully I'll be able to share that with everybody soon. So stay tuned at Fantasy Coach JB over there. I appreciate you putting this together, man. Like I said in the beginning, everybody who wanted to go to the expo, Petey and I were texting the other day, like, man, we got some serious FOMO right now. But being able to follow along with this and kind of having an at-home version where, you know, we've interacted before and now we get to hang out together. And, you know, that's what it was about. We weren't able to do it live in person in Canton, but we were able to do it here on a Sunday afternoon on camera. So I appreciate you putting this together and obviously putting Poly playoffs together, because as we're still drafting that's a cause near and dear, and I appreciate you doing all that too.
Absolutely. Thanks, man. Yeah. Before we throw it to PD, I mean, I couldn't go. It was a personal decision and then a financial decision as well to not go this year. But Robbie and I talked about it, and he was like, dude, if you're not making content while we're all at the expo, then you're kind of an idiot. And I was like, you're right. And I was already thinking about it, but you just kind of made me double down on it. And then Matt McCarthy, Methodical One on Twitter, had tweeted about it. And I was like, perfect. I've got somebody to run with it with me. And so I think we both accomplished all of our goals, which was to create content, connect people that couldn't actually go to the expo, and just have a good time and kind of be in sync with the expo while being at home because we couldn't be there. So I've had a ton of fun and appreciate you guys coming on. Evan, I think, has been on every show with me. And we've had different guys on all night or on every different show, and it's been a ton of fun for me. So I appreciate you guys hopping on for the Sunday wrap-up show.
For sure.
Absolutely.
Petey Stitz. Try saying that 5 times fast. Where can people find you, sir?
You can find me at PD Stitz. Remember the underscore. You all know why. JB's still laughing about it. You can find my video productivity over at fantasyalarm.com under the Fantasy Alarm handle on Twitter. I do a lot of the little clips to promote the bigger things that they have on the website. So fantasyalarm.com, wageralarm.com, and DFS Alarm over on Twitter as well now has its own thing just for DFS, and it actually has its own link within the Fantasy Alarm website as well. So definitely check that out for awesome content. If the Roto one that's in here, actually, is that Mike Alexander?
It is Mike. Yep.
Okay. All right. I saw that. I'm like, it better be, because if someone else stole his handle, I'm going to be very upset. But anyway, so yeah, shout out to Mike. He's part of the Fantasy Alarm team as well. And Shane, again, just to verbally retweet JB, thank you so much for putting this together. I was bumming hard that I couldn't make it to the expo. I mean, I had my ticket, I had my hotel room. Life finds a way, as Jeff Goldblum famously once said. I wasn't able to make it, and had to, say, well, there's always next year, as Buffalo fans have grown accustomed to saying over and over again. So that mantra definitely got me through having to miss it this year. But again, it was great to connect with you guys here today and do this draft. It was a lot of fun, and thank you for having me on. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you for coming on and just being thick as thieves with me. So you guys can find me on Twitter at FFShaneB. Make sure you like and subscribe to the YouTube channel for the Fantasy Football Collective and Fantasy Nightcap podcast. Subscribe on your preferred podcasting platform. Leave us a rating or a 5-star review if you're feeling extra special, because that helps us. But that is where you can find me. I am also a dynasty writer for Going for Two with Mr. Evan Ritter. So you will see my content there throughout the year, as well as on www.ffcollective.com. Ladies and gentlemen, this wraps up the Fantasy Football Expo at home. Cheers to a hell of a weekend.